And it's a very good morning on this Monday morning, the 22nd of June, 2026. And welcome to another video of the Federal Alliance of Southern Africa. We're going to have a look at a very important topic today. It's called the Anti-Corruption Asset Recovery Act. That's a big mouthful. Anti-Corruption Asset Recovery Act. Now, I'm going through all of this, as you know, for the sake of clarity and the sake of transparency and what the Federal Alliance intends to do when we eventually get to power, which we will. It's a slow process. There's a lot of players that are involved and a lot of things that need to be put in place before we can get to that particular position. So very welcome, Jan, good morning, to this Monday morning. It's cold and wet in Pretoria. Lots of rain. We had, well, I wouldn't say lots of rain, but we've had some constant rain, and it's freezing. It's literally freezing. There's a bit of sunlight that's now starting to come through, maar it's cold. So I think I said in, in March, I said that we were going to have a wet and cold winter. I particularly said that this winter could be one of the coldest that we are going to experience. And that this koud, man, julle kan hoor aan my stem en my keel en goed. Ek kry so baie boererate. Such a lot of medical advice, what to do this, do that, but I always stick to the normal basics, and eventually that sorts me out, eventually. But it's lekker. It's not a lekker feeling to be full of flu. Elmo, how's things? And that blue profile photo, I can never remember that blue profile photo. Nice sunset or sunrise. In any case, welcome here to another video of the Federal Alliance. So we're going to look at the Anti-Corruption Asset Recovery Act. Now, in a few of my videos, I've mentioned some of the things that we're going to do. Right? Yesterday, I saw a Maserati SUV. A Maserati SUV. And I said, you know what? If you've earned it lawfully, well done. But if you haven't earned it lawfully, then I'm going to find out how you earned it. Because we have such a huge amount of theft that has taken place since 1994, 1995. We have a huge amount of theft. It's 30 years of theft. 30 years of assets that have been stolen, assets that have been destroyed. Just take, for example, Patrice Motsepe and the platinum mines. Just as an example. How did he get his hands on those mines as to be the main role player in that whole organization? And why must the rest of South Africa suffer? Because we can't eat anything from those mines. And how come the government is poor when they have these mines and they are supposed to be getting something out of these mines? How does that work? Hoe vlieg daai kite? You got all this possibility of mines, all this minerals, but the people suffer. Hoe werk dit? I'm having a bit of, no, it's not gin. I'm a non-alcoholic drinker. This is that Sir Lemon. You've seen it, that Mr. Sir or Sir something lemon. And raspberry or strawberry that's mixed with it. And I water it down a bit because the taste of the lemon is a bit too harsh on my throat. So I have a swallow of this, to help me speak. So one of the first things we're going to put in place, and there's going to be a lot of firsts, right? There's going to be a lot of firsts. If you listen to all the videos, there's a lot of first things we're going to do. We're going to do, firstly, we're going to do this. Firstly, we're going to do this. Firstly, we're going to do this. Because in every department, in every sector, in every area, there's something that needs to be done first. So when I say first, it's first in this particular area. Right? Good morning, Andrew. It's first in this particular area. So this is a first in this particular area, and this is asset corruption, asset recovery. So we call it the Anti-Corruption Asset Recovery Act, or ACARA, ACARA. Let's have a bit of a preamble here. Recognizing the severe threat corruption poses to democracy, economic development, and the rule of law, the Federal Alliance State enacts this legislation to combat corruption, recover stolen assets, and ensure transparency and accountability to governance. This act aligns with the United Nations Convention Against Corruption. Please understand that whenever we tackle an object, we look at a theme or something that we need to do, we don't just thumbs up. Ons doen nie duimsuig nie. We do due diligence and we go look at what the actual thing is, right? So here we have the UNCAC, the United Nations Convention Against Corruption. This is our key. Amper gebruik ek die verkeerde om my spikkeltjie daar af te kry. This is one of the key things that we use, right? So it's called, for our side, it's the Anti-Corruption Asset Recovery Act, right? Particularly Chapter 5, which concerns asset recovery and incorporates best practices from global anti-corruption frameworks. So we have a couple of definitions. Proceeds of corruption. Any property derived from or obtained through corrupt practices, including bribery, embezzlement, money laundering, or abuse of office. Abuse of office. Take Rama Plakker, for example. Heavy abuse of office, right? Heavy. But these businesses flourish, right? The McDonald's are selling burgers, right? There's money hidden in Fala, etc. Because of abuse of office, Anton, good morning, we'll seize everything that he has. And what every other South African government official ever has had, we'll seize everything. They'll be on street within 48 hours, right? And they won't be able to get any funds that they've deposited outside. Nothing, zero, nada. Then the next definition, asset recovery, the process of tracing, freezing, confiscating, and repatriating assets acquired through corrupt means, right? That's easy to understand. Then the PEP, the politically exposed person. Individuals entrusted with prominent public functions, their family members, and close associates. What comes to mind is the Zuma family, for example. All these families that have benefited, these fat, whatever, and they've benefited, right? So we'll grab whatever they've got, and we'll grab them as well. And lock them up until we get to the bottom of everything. Net Piet Skipper, so gaan het. Good morning. Right, section number 2, mandatory asset declaration and verification. Public officials and PEPs must submit annual asset declarations. This comes further down the line to an independent anti-corruption commission, the IACC. False or unexplained wealth. Any significant increase in assets without lawful justification shall be presumed illicit and subject to confiscation. Public access declarations shall be made publicly available with exemptions only for genuine national security concerns. The important part is first to cut out the cancer, right? And once the cancer is cut out and the body is healed, we put something in place that ensures that there is none of this ever again. Ever. Every official that is in any form of public office, whether it be the federal state, or whether it be a state within the federal state, or whether it even be a sovereign nation that's part of the Federal Alliance, right, will be under the scrutiny of the AICC. You've got to tread lightly, right? You can't have a salary of 20,000 a month or 30,000 a month and drive a Maserati. That kite doesn't fly. All right, unless you have 5 other people in the house and they're all contributing to something else in the house and your wages just goes to the Maserati. Different story. But you'll have to prove that, right? You'll have to prove that. Section 3. Freezing, seizure, and confiscation of illicit assets. Expedited freezing orders. Courts may issue immediate freezing orders upon prima facie evidence of corruption. There is sufficient. We have sufficient. Now, one gentleman in the Federal Alliance, and I've named his name quite a few times, has got a pile bigger than my desk, right? That's just evidence of corruption. That's prima facie, right? We first grab your stuff, and we first grab you, and then we sort out the problem. We're not going to give you the benefit of the doubt when we can see what you have done. So you go, skate geen skate, papa, in plain Afrikaans. Right, immediate freezing orders. Point number 2, non-conviction based forfeiture. Assets may be confiscated without criminal conviction if proven on a balance of probabilities to be illicit. On a balance of probabilities, there is no way that you could have earned that or made that kind of money and bought that item. There's no way. Right? Not even the fairies in the heavenlies could have magically given you the finances to get that item. So, non-conviction based forfeiture. Assets may be confiscated without criminal conviction if proven on a balance of probabilities to be illicit. That's very important. But here we also have to tread lightly. Here we have the office of the ombudsman and the Ballieu and all those kind of guys that must have a big say in this, right? They must have a big say in this. Then, of course, burden of proof, point number 3, shifts to the accused to demonstrate the lawful origin of disputed assets. You have to prove that it's not illicitly obtained or gained. You have to prove that. I don't have to prove that. You have to prove that, right? So the burden of proof is on the owner. Right, Section 4, International Cooperation and Mutual Legal Assistance. UNCAC compliance, full cooperation with foreign states in tracing, freezing, and repatriating stolen assets. We phone Switzerland and we say, who's got accounts there? Here's a list of names. Do they have any accounts there? Or, very simple, this is South Africa. Give us the names of those who have bank accounts in your country. That's it. And I'm telling you what, that list will most probably be about 500 to 1,000 names as they try to hide illicit gain. Not only there, not the Maldives, there's a group of islands where, I know the Americas use those islands, banks, for illicit accounts continuously. Trying to remember what nation that was now. But in any case, all right, I nearly said the Maldives, not the Maldives, but something similar. So we have to find out what nations has these kind of bank accounts, etc., etc. But the paper trail will take us there. In the digital age, we can find out quite a bit. Reciprocal enforcement. Foreign confiscation orders shall be enforceable in the Federal Alliance state. Right? It will be enforceable. Asset repatriation agreements. Negotiated treaties to ensure recovered assets are returned transparently, preferably for public benefit projects. We're going to get it back. If we do this right, we'll get it back. There's no way that one guy could have spent 20, 30 billion. There's no way. Right? So we'll get it back. If we get it back through auctioning off properties, vehicles, whatever, we'll get it back. as much as possible. And everybody will have to be on the same page concerning this, especially the kings, right? Section 5, we even have whistleblower and witness protection, financial rewards. Point number 1, whistleblowers disclosing corruption leading to recovery shall receive 5 to 15% of reclaimed assets. Lekker. Right? So, tell us, and we'll give you something. And in the African mentality, that is a beautiful deal. Right? Tell us what we want to know. And if we recover it, you'll get it. You'll get a part of it, at least. Right? Smile for the rest of your life, because you came out with the truth. That's the thing about the truth. It's the truth that sets you free. You know? Don't hide stuff, man. In family, in business, in friendship, the truth sets you free. Speak the truth. Right? Morning, good morning. Anonymity and relocation protection for whistleblowers and witnesses, including identity concealment and safe relocation if necessary. Only if it's necessary, because the guys that we are going to trap, there is no way that they'll have a 5 cents left to pay anybody to take you out. They'll have nothing. Right? They'll have an orange overall and millipap 3 times a day while they are working until they're dead. Section 6, they won't even have television or a phone or contact with family members. 0. Section 6, establishment of the Anti-Corruption Asset Recovery Fund. You know, I had to smile at how they're trying to deport all these, Malawians? 10,000 Malawians in Durban. But we know there's about 20 million foreign nationals in South Africa that shouldn't be here. 10,000, they sent a couple of hundred home. How many did they send home? I don't even look at the news. I hardly look at the news. Let me put it that way. I hardly look at the news. I'm too busy preparing for us, for what's coming. Right? Relocation if necessary. Then we have Section 6, the establishment of the Anti-Corruption Asset Recovery Fund. Right? This is not just the act, this is the fund. It's managed by the AICC. Recovered assets shall be deposited into ACARF. A calf. It's nearly like a scarf, but in any case. Transparent allocation. Funds shall be used for public infrastructure, anti-corruption education, victim compensation, and annual audit. Independent auditors shall publish reports on fund utilization. Now, listen to this, all right? This is an important statement. This is not just corruption on a state level. This is corruption on a juris level as well. Courts, advocates, lawyers, right? We spoke about it during the week. Let's say we have this example of divorce lawyers taking forever to settle a divorce, right? And every month, the party that's what's the word? That's not the one that's causing the trouble. You know what I mean? The party that's supposed to be, hoekom kan ek nie nou die Engelse woord kry nie? Blameless. The party that's supposed to be blameless has to pay 5,000, 2,000, 7,000, 10,000, 3,000 every month. These divorce lawyers, a lot of them, they chat to each other and they ask each other the question, how much can we make out of this customer? That is blatant corruption. You won't have anywhere to run. If any divorce party comes forward and says that they believe that this lawyer has been milking them, there will be immediate asset seizure. Immediately. All right? Are you hearing me? We will get rid of corruption on every level possible. Every level. We sê hulle, oh, so help me God, né? Dit is wat hulle moet sê. So, victim compensation is really important. Then there's an annual audit. Independent auditors shall publish reports on fund utilization, and it will be open to the public. Penalties, corrupt officials, minimum 10-year imprisonment, and full restitution. They have to pay everything that they stole. How do they do that? When they come out of that 10-year imprisonment, they're going to work for that. If they don't have the money, they're going to work. Corporate compliancy, companies involved in corruption face dissolution, blacklisting, and heavy fines up to 300% of illicit gains. Obstruction of recovery, tampering with evidence or witness intimidation carries a 5-year imprisonment, or in our case, I would say, if you want to intimidate somebody, we'll just give you the death sentence. That's it. Because you are trying to lie and you're trying to make it worse. You don't want to learn from your mistakes, so we send you Bokveld to, right? End of story. Easy, simple solution. Get rid of. Cut the cancer out. Get rid of it, right? Start on a clean slate. They must fear the rule of law. You see, if you do what is right, then you are fine. You don't have to worry. Let's take the Arab Emirates as an example. The people there are too scared to pick up a 5 or a 10 dinar, whatever they use there. They're too scared to pick it up. They leave it. They go to the manager of the company and they say to him, listen, there's a $10 or whatever lying on your floor. Because if you do pick it up and you don't go hand it in immediately, you're on CCTV. What they do is they give you a certain time to give it in. If you don't hand it in, right, they name and shame you. You sit in the public square and people mock you. And you are known as a thief. Right? They're too scared of the rule of law. But they know if they just continue living their lives, doing the right thing, they have no problem. There is no problem for the person that does what is right. There never was. There's only a penalty for those who do what is wrong. So we need to understand that. Section 8, Oversight and Enforcement. Okay, this is the last page. Oversight and Enforcement, Independent Anti-Corruption Commission, the AICC, empowered to investigate, prosecute and recover assets. Judicial Anti-Corruption Division, specialized courts for expedited corruption cases, tribunals, public monitoring, civil society organizations may petition courts to compel enforcement, which I don't think will be necessary, but the option will be there. Section number 9, entry into force. This act takes effect immediately upon enactment with retroactive application to corruption cases from the past 20 to 30 years. We're going to clean house. We are impatient in our patience. All right, you can say the Brood made that statement. We are impatient in our patience. All right, to coin a phrase. We want to get things done now. We know how we want to do it. We know how quickly we can enact it. All right? But we have to be patient until we have sufficient funding. We have to be patient. It's even I myself with the rugby app, right? If you haven't got the app yet, you're missing out on a lot of information concerning rugby. You're missing out. I mean, the Barbarian game was the main game featured in that app this past weekend. In 2 weeks' time, it's the England versus South Africa app game is the featured game. And as a game is played, the next game comes up. It can be England, Ireland, whatever, doesn't matter. But you're missing out on such a lot in that app, from results to stats to whatever. Now, if the app blows out and we can get 1,000, 5,000 people on that app, then we can do all we need to do. It's as simple as that. So I'm impatient in my patience as well. And I'm also waiting for something else to fall into place, and then I'm going to release something else for those who love soccer. All right? I'm just waiting. Patient. Conclusion. The Anti-Corruption Asset Recovery Act, ACARA, ensures that corruption does not go unpunished and that stolen wealth is reclaimed for the people. Not for the next governmental body, for the people. By adopting UNCAC principles and stringent enforcement mechanisms, the Federal Alliance State demonstrates its commitment to justice, transparency, and equitable development. Equitable development. That's what we want, right? By adopting UNCAC principles and stringent enforcement mechanisms, the Federal Alliance State demonstrates its commitment to justice, transparency, and equitable development. That's what we want, ladies and gentlemen. We want peace, we want security, we want freedom, we want prosperity, and we are allowed to have that. That is our basic human right. Right? Our sovereign, I don't like human right. Our sovereign men and women's rights. Johan, good morning. That's our basic rights, right? Why don't I like human rights? If you look at the Black's Concordance or Black's dictionary of way back, I think it's Black's, of quite way back, a human is a person that has been changed or enhanced. You are not that's the actual definition. A human is actually a sovereign man or woman that has been changed, enhanced, reshaped, reformed. In other words, equal to a monster. That's what the word human actually means. All right? So we're going to move away from human rights, monster rights, and we're going to make it sovereign men and women's rights. That's what it will be. Sovereign people's rights. All right? There is most probably a part of humanity that is monsters. We don't want to be a part of that. That's just semantics, and it's based on fact. Okay. So, you need to stand with me, you need to pray with me, and you need to join the Federal Alliance if you haven't joined it. All right? You need to assist me in this, man. I can't do this by myself. It's an impossible task. I was thinking about it again. I spoke to my son yesterday. And I said to my son, you know, son, when we start this thing, we've got work. And we've got the work for at least 500,000 people immediately. Like that. Boom. So 500,000 jobs we can create in seconds. Right? We just need the support of people who will believe in us, stand with us, and we can achieve this. And we need a minimum amount of funds to start. We seriously need a minimum amount of funds. We can start this thing with 30,000 for the first meeting. The second meeting is also plus minus 30,000. The third meeting is plus minus 50,000. The fourth meeting is plus minus 50,000. Where are we now? That's 180,000. And then the big meeting is $1 million. It'll be $1 million, the big one. So we can do the first 1, 2, 3, 4 meetings for $180,000. That's less than a car, man. That's less than an expensive car. And it's all about meetings. It's all about being like-minded, being on the same page. Because if you get people on the same page, you can achieve and accomplish what you need to achieve and accomplish. All right? And even now, we are battling to get all the Aina, good morning. We are battling to get all the Boer leaders on the same page. You know what a pain that is? Julle sal my nie glo nie as ek vir julle sê wat 'n pyn dit is om al die boere leiers op dieselfde bladsy te kry. It's a disaster. That's why we need to have the finances to force them into a conference room. Not physically. If they're not there, they are out. End of story. And we will put it on the freaking news when it comes. Right? But that time will still come. I'm positive. We've been working hard, we're preparing, we're putting the things out there. There is no excuse. When we eventually get rolling, when we eventually get started, there's no excuse for those who need to come on board and to get these things done. Because we are what? Ek gaan julle nie langer ophou nie. Freelanders, vryburgers, boere, Afrikaners, Englishmen, French, Chinese. We'll only keep the good ones, right? Or maybe not. Venda Pedi, Zulu Koza, a whole lot of them. See how well did our makeshift Springbok team did against the Barbarians. We smashed them. But we have to take a lot of things into consideration. Our big test will be in 2 weeks' time against England, our foe, our enemy. In any case, we know who we are and we know where we are going. Right? We know who we are and we know where we are going. So you guys must have a fabulous, fabulous day. And with God, unity is strength. Never forget God. With God, unity is strength. Amen. Have a great day.